One bit of trinking in Ishtalid. Norviento a gastru de gedante kan tu de lever chi nachtlent de gnaait Norvinci da skriegut. So Norvina an doorshop for the Heregum, Honig Nerodies and Dante, Narafitagum, Unter, Norvina da skriegum. So it was only in the process of translation where your translators say, what exactly does that line mean? Which is not the question you usually have to ask yourself when you've written the original, and you can't just say, it's poetry, it can mean whatever you want it to mean. They say, no. You have to say what you meant by that word. And so you read the poems in a much more literal way, perhaps. And it only occurred to me, 10, 12 years after I'd written most of the poems, that this is a book about fathers. And it comes around the idea of a father, fathers and daughters, fathers and sons, fathers and their fathers, grandsons and grandfathers. And this poem, Rubber Moor and Peel, fits with that pattern as well. And Seamus Heaney has two extraordinary poems about fathers and sons based around the relationship, the working relationship between father and son on farm. There's this great poem called Follower, where the father takes the boy with him to help on the farm, even though the boy is useless and he's always getting in the way. And according as the son gets older and stronger, the father is in decline. So it comes to the point finally where in the last line of the poem says, and it is now my father who's a nuisance and will not go away. It's very heartbreakingly beautiful poem. So I was thinking, if you didn't grow up on a farm, and I didn't, and you were to try and look at the relationship between a father and son in a similar way, what might it be? And I thought, what about if a father was teaching a son how to ride a bike? Might that not be something similar? Because every child is logical enough to know that two wheels will not keep you upright. So the child knows he or she is going to fall, and it's a measure of their trust, and undeserving trust in their seniors, that they take our word for it, that you won't fall. Of course you won't fall. Oh, you will, I know I'm going to fall. I know I'm going to fall. No, I'll keep my hand on the saddle and you'll be grand, I won't let go until you're off the line. You let go, I know you'll let go. And you say, no, I won't let go. And you fall 3 or 4 times. You say, no, I'm not going up again. No, you'll be great this time, you'll be grand this time. And promise now you won't let go, you promise you won't let go, you let them go, and they fall and all the rest of it. And then when you finally get up and running, you're so terrified of falling and exhilarated that you go as fast as you can, as hard away from the person who got you up and almost airborne in the first place. So that's what this poem is about. There's a reference in it to Lacha and Riordan. Sean Riordan is a famous poem about a duck, in which the duck is the most ungainly and unfortunate of all of God's creatures, not because she's ungainly, but because she thinks she's the most graceful of God's creatures. So this is called Rubber Moor and Peel. Visa in hi hasad, skjauch, se dieret der regen, touring the glade, which in sail and wee galair, of Ilan Morgan to Yeg, for Tulach, le Lachen and Riordan. Tussa agus Sebro, a riddle air, Satina Titi in Yeg and Heen. A queen of sheer dominisher, is spoiling nach Hunet to Irrit, agus bar Ludin, se dealet, mar Yelp, agus Salunta Yemen. We're a thread of onnets of line from Islam's tune. We're a dairy done at Dera, and Tinel knee school my thing vow of mind, Lang sorrow with trouble hunt on air, for Fadawit to this a better and dull. Arim on the Cheras and Arable is she ishtach and Queen, the Vleg you're an all and Yig, and Bruit or Vor, Cast and Pale. Kunigort the Boche, Kunigort, is there a crack in the hoose, not fear to be Yig, not fear to be Yig. None your ears, and we're yearning for each other, our inward passion and credible. Cycle. There I was, half sitting, half standing, sideways, in the saddle, sort of, backside to the wind, to the whole child world I wished behind me, clumsy as O'Riordan's duck, and you running breathless beside me so I wouldn't fall head first. If you ask me now, I don't think you kept even a fingertip on the saddle as you crossed your heart to do. The only thing that kept me from falling was my complete faith in you. When I finally got hanging at that awkward contraption between my legs, I kept on pedaling the air as far away from you as I could get. Now and again, I hear in the farthest corner of my memory your laboured shout after me, sending me off on life's knotted road. Keep going, boy, keep going. For the love of God, don't look back, don't look back. And I didn't. The last time, I believe, I was tricked into believing anything. I'll just read two shorter poems that were written more recently. The first one is called Macalla, and it's a story a friend of mine told me about walking on the old railway line outside of Maynooth. I presume it's the Maynooth to Dublin line, and it's been closed for years and years, and he was taking his dog for a walk, and he saw this man coming towards him in a donkey jacket, and every 20 yards or so the man would lean down and he'd knock the railway sleepers and put his ear to them. And so my friend caught up with him and he asked him what he was doing, and he said that it was his job to check that there was no flaw in the wood so that a train wouldn't be derailed. And I thought this was an extraordinarily comforting image, and I thought it was worth developing the idea in a poem. An Shanavor earring idir man nuad is black clear, a fair a lead loony, a knaggle and a BME einut, a scarron a Riley, go cotton van the she. Asian tre a fragrant queen, for Kuramach le mine lear, or a tree fautach a nina, of Rahige and Viadur. With a band a Doris Orson, or with a tree in a bearkid, Trishan Liam to father a hue, now cushion fact. Ach Macalla Clail a Durden a Galileig, tre Chorfa, Fúr and Lay. Tan Tier'n Rod Dúta le Stair, ach mi féidir an Téistóir le Scur, go naim seo sé an bol bolts an aim a crúi, as ar gurfar an trail nor hán is ná tupi, ná cús a dír. Am a bhunín an lán sa bhar, tá hís ar a gab lúin na géiste, le Macalla Láidir a churn, ag amach rive tre fasáiste tréig an talchuí. Ní ladrin agus Dera Medina ach Echoes. On the old railway line between Dublin and Maynooth, there's a man down on one knee, knocking on the sleepers that keep the rails perfectly apart. He listens to the tree's response as intently as a surgeon who's heard the flawed murmur of his daughter's heart for the first time, or a woman with her heart in her mouth at the door of an apartment after years and years away, who hears nothing, only the slender echo of her fist retreating through the empty corridor of today. The railway line has been closed for what seems like forever, but the listener cannot be relieved from his post until he finds the soft spot in the hard wood before the train that has not yet arrived and never will is derailed. My faith is undiminished in the careful stranger who's down on one knee, listening to the confident echo of his fist as it moves before him through the deserted halls of the future. He is all there is between us and the end of the line. I was talking to one Níl factor á go bhín dáinseach díochar ceiliúr is lán fósta is agus an caiimitar rhododendron. Sa séipéal ciúin leis díos an as, tá lán ó don bhuileann gar a siúil fasáiste cléil náis don géadúir ó lá an banise. Tá súile ceachta ar náhhuireach is iad a teach ina brístí géine I dro an alpóla mar bhfuil solas sirí an dóchas fós ar lasa. Tá black rhododendron is séide tre fáil beag I bhuinóg chate a glíne. Is an bhrídóg I ar a criminal a lasa ag na ráilí. Tá tair goléir tre hinne is a láimh ag crib mar a bhí an lásam ar chur an tolchaí fáinne óir ar an méir. Deran a charcéile ar a láimhín hais is luiscin deor a ted na cuine a chreicean mín. Ligan na rhododendron busna cúra. Is fadar go méid banis eilechó le tríile in a múmí corcra. Rhododendrons. In the empty church by the waterfall, a young couple from Mullingar walked the narrow aisle of happiness for the first time since the wedding. Their eyes had grown accustomed to the semi-dark as they approached in their denim jeans the altar where the perpetual light of hope still flickers. The scent of rhododendrons blows through a small hole in the stained glass of their memory, and the bride is having trouble lighting her white candle at the railings. All around, the air is on fire, and her hand shakes as it did that day the future placed its old gold ring on her finger. Her husband catches her moist hand, and the hot tears of the candle scald his soft skin. The rhododendrons breathe a fragrant sigh. They can't wait for another wedding to go to in their lovely purple dresses. Rowena.